Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Yoda. I used to be the president of a religious order in a galaxy far, far away, once upon a time. And I am joining. Me too. Me too. I'm joining too. I'm joining the ministry too. And I'm brought in specifically behind Chun-Li today. It's a good position to talk about how to reconcile the good and the evil. I mean, you might say I gone and done it in terms of balancing the light side of the force, the dark side of the force. You might say that. If you're a fan of my work. If you're a critic of my work, you would say, hey, who the heck was running that temple when the dark side came and took over the whole universe? Master Yoda. Since I'm here to talk about reconciling the good and evil, were I to step in and shut the bad news down ASAP, as you'd expect a man in my position, then it would not have produced a story of redemption, a story of love of a son for a father, of unconditional love despite all of the actions that have been committed in the past. That belief in the goodness that could result in the goodness, the belief in the goodness that could transform something that is so terrible, as an empire slaughtering, or as a human slaughtering empire, that the unconditional love of a son could transform it into something good, and it could bring balance to the force. Okay, talking about good and evil, right? So that's this famous Star Wars story. You guys might have heard the story. Okay, so I get accused of another short green guy very often, a guy named Smeagol. You guys know Smeagol? You guys know Golem? People call me Golem all the time. It's really annoying. I'll be walking around and they're like, yo, Smeagol. I'd be like, I do not know of the Smeagol of whom you speak. But so anyway, so I don't know if you knew about this guy. So this guy was a scumbag who basically just did whatever he wanted and was just like loved his shit and didn't mind breaking the rules for it. And this guy, Smeagol, right? But somehow this guy wound up to the end of the story, and now the hero of the story wasn't able to finish the job, to get the job done. But Smeagol comes in all his wicked angriness, bites the dude's hand, and then finishes the job. Right? Throws himself into the fire. I could only hope to be so vicious and terrible as that little green goblin monster, which was the ultimate, or the final action that resulted in the end of Sauron. Reconciling the evil that was brought, because you bring Chun-Li. Chun-Li does a great job. Braun does a great job. Yoda does the job that he does, and then together it can be a great job. But yeah, so there has to be, a character in the story. So if you guys are out there and you've got characters in the story that you guys want to go up in arms about, just think of the big picture and think of the greater mercy. You can be like me and do nothing and let evil rise and have it take over, but maybe that's just what it is. I don't know. I'm just a Muppet.